What's good, gamers? I'm yapping again, and today what I have is a bunch of knowledge checks. So there's a lot of situations in Street Fighter 6 where if you don't know, you're cooked. And as a top level Kimberly player, I've labbed out a lot of these situations, watched other top Kimberly players be in these situations, and I'm working out the answers so you don't have to. So I'm not gonna lie, my camera's cooked today, and my setup's also cooked. I'm running on an RX 570 right now because my actual graphics card died. So maybe scuffed video, maybe worse video quality, but it doesn't matter because I'm still I'm cooking. All right, that was a great intro. That was fantastic. The first knowledge check I have is what you should do if your opponent is jumping back on your run. So this is a mix-up that I typically advise people to stay away from, just in general. The whole run mix-up between run kick and command grab, and this is why. So as you can see here, if I have my null just hold up back here, it beats both my command grab and my kick. That's bullshit. Why does it beat both? So this move functionally just doesn't work mid-screen, and even if it did, then the risk reward is terrible. So what you can do to stop people from jumping backwards is hit them with drive rush heavy kick. So if you immediately drive rush after this run, so first of all, I'm just gonna demonstrate. So after this run, you're actually -6. So if your opponent just blocks and does nothing, then they can easily check this drive rush. But since the backwards jump beats both of these options, a lot of people just take that route, or what they do is that they'll just backdash. Because the backdash is very minimalistically risky. And it beats the command grab, leaves them +27 for a huge punish on command grab. And at worst, they get hit for 600 damage. So people usually pick one of these two options, either the back jump or the backdash. So why you should drive rush here is, as I demonstrated, the drive rush heavy kick will beat the backdash, or beat the back jump. And if they backdash, you're +19. So drive rush is a lot harder to check with -19. So obviously that also depends on what character it is. Other characters have much better backdashes than Manal. Manal's backdash is fucking terrible. The setup, or I guess not really setup, this option also beats neutral jump. And what you have to do here is react to the neutral jump with a jab and get the crouch fierce. So this might seem very daunting, but once you have this down, it's really easy. I don't even think about this when I do it. And you can get a little mix-up here if they neutral jump as well. And also works if they jump forwards. So basically, this setup beats forward jump, neutral jump, back jump, and you're sort of in a positive situation when they backdash. It loses if they just check the drive rush, but then you can start mixing in the command grab again. So basically what I'm getting at is be aware of these punishes, because this isn't really a knowledge check on you as much as it is just you need this knowledge to implement the mix-up. You're probably doing this mix-up wrong. This is gonna be the weirdest one on the list, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so real knowledge checks. I don't know why I started with that, TBH. So one thing that a lot of people like to complain about without labbing is this parry here. When you parry Kim's run, it gives you this weird sort of area because Kim is still running off of you, and usually you're parrying the first hit. So the second hit of the run is still gonna come if you parry this first hit. So what a lot of people do is they see, oh, I landed a perfect parry, I'm gonna press a medium, and then they get cooked. So how do you actually punish Kim's run? But when you land a perfect parry, what happens is that you actually have 5 frames of full invulnerability. So Kimberly's second hit of the run will hit you right after those 4 frames. So I believe what you have is precisely the second hit of the run will hit on the 7th frame. So if you can hit anything within 6 frames before Kimberly runs off of you, you can get like a good punish. So your option in the mirror match here is crush medium punch or stand medium punch. These are Kim's 6 frames. So it's also this very weird juggle state. So there's a few things you can do here. If you just want an air grab, like they have their back to the corner. So if you just want straight meterless damage, your best option is crouch medium punch, air grab, does 1000 damage. Not too great of Oki, so usually you want to defer away from this option, but if it'll kill meterless, you know, you take those. Also builds a lot of super meter. So a lot of the times you'll get this run in the corner, and you can do a stand medium punch, delayed run stop, and then tattoo on the other side for a side switch. You can also cash out with EX air grab. And if you want to cash out and side swap for some reason, you can EX run stop to get an air grab on the other side as well. But basically the main thing that you should take away from here is do this to side switch and take the air grab in most other situations. And obviously, like, this parry, like, goes universally. Like, if you're any character, you get, like, a 6 frame punish here. So, you know, lab that out. I see way too many people complaining about, like, Kim's run. And they literally don't know how to punish this move. Like, I see them try and do heavies and the get counter hit, and then I laugh at them. Very similar sort of concept here with Aki. So, Aki's EX daggers. Very similar move to Kim's run. Multi-hit, like, stays on you. And Aki's a very similar situation. Except for Aki, she has, like... For Aki, she's, like, way above here. So, if I press any of my buttons here, they're all gonna whiff. Like, the button that I would usually press to hit someone at this range would be Crouch Heavy Punch. But Crouch Heavy Punch has an 8-frame startup. So if I try and Crouch Heavy Punch here, the next hit of EX Cruel Fate will come down and it'll counter hit me before I get the startup of my Crouch Fear set out. So there's still a few things that you can do on Kimberly here. So what I usually do is I press a button, I get counter hit and I die. But what you're gonna do, and what I will do in the future, is just tattoo. So Kim's tattoo isn't like a DP or anything, but it still has some air invulnerability properties. So what you can do is just medium tattoo. So it does have the perfect parry scaling, so I mean EX works, but it's not worth it. So you can get like this positive situation and some damage out of this if you just do medium tattoo. It's a lot better than getting counter hit and getting smoked. You can also use every single one of your supers, I believe, should work. I'm not sure about like every specific like spacing, but it seems rather consistent in my testing. Yes, now EX tattoo can also go into level 2 from here, thanks to the new buffs. So yeah, next time you parry EX daggers, you know what to do. You might have had this happen to you before, where you're getting jab pressured by Cammy in the corner, or maybe a Ken or a DJ. You land the perfect parry on their jab, do stand fierce, and it doesn't work. So why does this happen? So the recovery on certain jabs is just too fast for stand fierce, and as you can see, I end up +8 in this situation after parrying the jab. So basically on certain characters' lights, which you'll get to know as like you play the game more, you just don't have the extra frame. So what you can do here is, you know, use your A-frame. So just know some notable ones are Cammy's stand jab, Ken's jab, DJ's jab, And honestly, just like at this point, if I see like a normal jab, unless I specifically know that stand fierce works on that character, I will just go for stand medium punch. So because this is a perfect parry and they're still in the recovery of their jab or whatever they're doing, stand medium punch will always hit punish counter. So basically what I'm trying to teach here is that stand medium punch and a heavy elbow works on punish counter. And since you're gonna have perfect parry scaling on this combo anyways, you're not gonna want to spend really that much meter. So what I like to go for is just doing this simple combo, and you can run stop and still be plus in their face. Like after this extended run stop, I'm still +4, still in throw range. So yeah, next time you see a perfect parry on like a really fast jab, don't knowledge check yourself and accidentally do stand fierce and lose your punish. Do this combo instead, and you'll get pretty good damage, pretty good corner carry, and it's all free. You won't get smoked by whatever the hell they're mashing. I know they're mashing level 3. And also here, if you want to side switch, there is a manually delayed air fierce from the heavy elbow here that you can get a side switch off of, which is also +21, so you can get an overhead here as well if you'd like. So I'm afraid to say that we're approaching like severe nerd territory. So one thing you might notice about playing Kimberly is the projectile invincible tools that she has or is like supposed to have to be fireballs can feel really lackluster at times. Like if you try and slide this fireball on reaction without already being in the run, you're just gonna get smoked every time. And even just her command slide, like you'll just take the fireball to the face quite often. So one thing that's really good to know is this perfect parry drive rush OS. So you might have seen good players do this. Basically what the concept is that when you parry these fireballs, you're plus. Specifically with heavy fireballs, which I'll do here, you can be very plus. So there I was +11, and obviously you can be more plus if you parry closer or whatever, but +11 is enough to do something with. So obviously, like, I'm capable of perfect parrying these fireballs, but if you buffer a drive rush behind the tap parry, you can actually drive rush and punish the fireball more often than not. Against heavy fireballs like this, you can get this drive rush and really put in some like big work, stop your opponent from throwing fireballs, even with these universal mechanics. And obviously, if you don't land the perfect parry, then you'll just parry it normally. So you can get like full combo conversions off this. This works on like Ken, this works on Ryu, this works on Luke, and it's very good against Akuma to stop you from getting like pestered down by his heavy fireball, which goes very, very fast. Also very good against Luke's Sandblast, and honestly, this just works on every projectile in the game. And even if you don't end up punishing the projectile itself, you're still in a positive situation more often than not, where your drive rush is like impossible to check, even if they manage to react to your drive rush. So if you get this option select down with the instant drive rush after a perfect parry, you will do significantly better into zoners. It's one thing to just parry the fireballs and not lose your meter, and it's a whole nother thing to actually punish the fireball. It's a huge game changer in these matchups. And while I'm still on the topic of fireball knowledge checks, one thing I see a lot of people do wrong is not parrying fireballs in gaps. So like, say I set Luke here to do just stand heavy punch, heavy fireball. So a lot of Luke players do this because this is actually plus on block. So in the corner here, if Luke does the sequence, he's +2. So he can like keep going for more pressure and like really like attack the meter and stuff. But this gap is very reactable. and you can sort of apply like the same concept here. You can get the perfect parry, but instead of drive rushing, you don't need to drive rush here. Like if I do this perfect parry here, I'm plus 17. So always just attempt this parry whenever you see the startup of any fireball. It doesn't have to be just Luke's. This is like the most common one I land though. And you can just like input like a sweep or whatever other buttons will reach. You're going to always be very, very plus when you parry a fireball this close. And you can just get some very big punishes out of this. Other characters will also often do cancels into fireball, which have gaps. Like oftentimes when Akuma wants to burn you out, he will do something like this. And you can also parry the fireball in there as well. You should always be looking for more value out of your perfect parries, basically. And don't let yourself get cooked by this free drive gauge chip and this free plus frames and these fireballs in neutral that people just drive rush behind. Don't let them get away with that. Clean up your perfect parries, practice this shit, and start making people pay for their brain dead zoning. Alright, so now for something a little bit different. I personally hate this character and everyone that plays him, including my some of my best friends that play this character. So Blanka Ball can feel really, really oppressive when you don't know how to deal with it. Because this just like chips a whole drive gauge, and then Blanka gets to go back to doing his thing, like just flipping and flying across the screen like an idiot. And obviously you don't want to lose that drive gauge, so you try and tap parry, and then it goes in with the light one, throws you, takes meter anyway. So this can be really, really irritating to deal with. And thankfully Kimberly has a great option against this. So if I could charge, what you can do to any heavy Blanka Ball you see is just crouch medium punch. And this will work consistently. Thanks to the disjoint on Kimberly's crouch medium punch, you actually have enough of a disjoint to just like smoke Blanka Ball like right in its tracks every time. This is like a huge privilege that Kimberly has. You just have to get the timing down, practice this in the lab a little bit, and it has this fantastic buffer into heavy elbow that also works every time. Unfortunately, the juggle state's a little bit weird with the hard knockdowns, so you just get this tattoo combo instead of like an air grab or whatever. But this is still a huge conversion, and there's still like routes to go into like super. Each of the supers you can do meterlessly. And there's also like some bigger combos you can get if it's like a hard call out. Like if you land like a deep medium punch, you can land a run light kick into like a huge combo. You can also drive rush cancel for like a really big conversion. But yeah, don't let Blanka get away with heavy Blanka Ball. But the really, really nice thing here is this beats the heavy Blanka Ball, but it also beats the light Blanka Ball. And I guess the medium Blanka Ball. The light one and the medium are effectively the same at different ranges. So basically, if the Blanka player tries to bait you with the light Blanka Ball, they'll just get smoked. At the same timing that the heavy Blanka Ball gets stuffed, the light Blanka Ball will whiff and lead to a full punish counter combo for you. So basically the only thing that they can do that works at this timing is to do an EX ball, and this will like mess with the timing a little bit, and you'll often get like a trade, as you can see here. And sometimes they'll beat you. So basically, Against Kimberly, all you have to do is press one button, and Blanka Ball is a non-issue. And the only way that they can really adapt to this is by doing EX Blanka Ball. And at that point, they're spending meter to be belligerent, which is, you know, not that bad in this game. And, you know, if they do go to that stage of, like, using EX Blanka Ball to discourage you from using Crouch Media Punch, you could just go back to using Parry again and, like, restart the RPS. And this is in your favor because, you know, they have to take the risk of doing the big, terrifying option that gets cooked versus, like, the reward of, like, one Blanka Ball, maybe. So, really, like, you should not be letting Blanka Balls go. Do not parry this unless they show you that they're going to use EX. Another really annoying gimmick that Blanka has is this Rainbow Ball. And a lot of people can really struggle to deal with this. This isn't a perfect solution that I have, but what I like to do is whenever I see a Rainbow Ball, I just immediately drive rush. What you can do is you can, like, sort of adjust the spacing with whiffing a jab. And if you immediately react to the Rainbow Ball, you're at the perfect height after, like, drive rush or drive rush whipping a jab to always be able to crouch fierce it if you're in range. So if they go over your head, no big deal. If they land at a spot where you can punish them, but otherwise, usually you have the spacing to either adjust yourself or just, like, land in a spot where you'll be able to crouch fierce the Rainbow Ball at almost any range. With some practice at this, or just, like, honestly, I learned this entirely in game. You should be able to deal with almost every single Rainbow Ball. Basically, what not to do is to just, like, throw out tattoos, because this is how you get baited and die. Learn how to adjust yourself, learn all these conversions, and start cooking Blankas. I hate Blankas so much. Don't let them get away with this. And this is going off the script. I'm just gonna, like, throw an extra bonus tip out there because, you know, like, my hate for Blanka, like, fueled some extra hate in me, and I fucking hate juri. So what a lot of juri players will do, because they have no desire to play neutral and probably less than 15 brain cells in their entire head, is that they will throw a fireball and then they will turn green. And this is a very effective strategy because you're plus 1 billion trillion and you get throw loops. So obviously the reason why Fireball Drive Rush is so good is because it's, like, almost impossible to interact with, because you can't check the drive rush because there's a fireball on screen. Or can you? So Kimberly's sweep is, like, specially disjointed to the fact where it can trade very favorably with juri fireball. So this is how I beat Just a Kid at East Coast Throwdown, is if you just wait for any green on screen and press sweep, you can nullify the fireball. Now, in this situation that I'm showing on screen with the EX, it's not always a favorable situation, but it gets you out of the mix-up and it resets you to neutral. So even with the regular fireball, you can often end up in situations where you're very plus because it doesn't juggle you on this fireball. And the same thing sort of also applies to just, like, perfect parry this. You perfect parry this real close, then you can check the drive rush easily. So yeah, that was a bunch of knowledge checks that you need to stop getting hit by. You know, learn these punishes and you will become more consistent. The main divider between, like, a really good player and, like, a professional level, like, top 8 making player is usually, like, these tiny micro interactions where you might miss a punish, but these top players are going to know the situation and have these things down. So, you know, learn these things, and that's, like, what, like, 8 less gimmicks that you're gonna get hit by. That's gonna improve your consistency dramatically. And, you know, when you're learning these things, you just remember, like, when you hit a real match, that, like, learning is not, like, a linear route. You're gonna learn these things, and you're gonna lab these out, and you're gonna have this shit down, and you're gonna forget them, and that's okay. you can always come back to this video and refresh yourself. So yeah, I wish everyone the very best luck and to stop getting hit by gimmicks. I'm gonna try and stop coughing, so maybe I can like stream tomorrow. But yeah, I hope this video helps some people out there, and you know, like and subscribe and do all that shit. I'm gonna lose my job, so yeah, my current job that I'm at is currently like going out of business, and we're gonna close like next week. So I guess I'm gonna be streaming a lot more because I'm gonna be fucking unemployed. But yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my Twitch, I guess. That's how I'm making my bread. So yeah, I'm cooked. Yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.